Hey everybody, how's it going? Chris here, back to show you, of course, another video with comic books. And I'm going to start it with, or mainly tell you about SARGE STEEL Special Agent issue number 6, a Silver Age comic book. This video mainly came about by somewhat request of Gene Pauley's Peter. He really liked me talking about some of the Silver Age Fantastic Four and the Thor comic book I got. So I'm going to talk to you about this one. This one's from 1965, but my collection is very scattered and all over the place, so I just found one for now. And we'll talk a little bit about this one and some other stuff. Before I get into this though, let me tell you guys, thank you very much for your comments on my last video. Most of the comments I haven't replied back to yet, about my Marvel Comics, well, not just Marvel Comics, but my savings jug, my new mission for my Pop Can Comics. So for who hasn't seen it yet, there's the jug. Now, one thing, just because I put the Marvel Comics logo on it, I forgot to mention in the last video, when giving the comments or when suggesting comic books for me to save up for next year, I think putting in, making suggestions of DC Comics or independent comics, Marvel Comics, any comics from any publishers from any time period would be great. So if you guys want to do that again on this video, make some indie picks or DC Comics picks. A couple did, but yeah, I'm sure there's, you guys know that I'm mainly into Marvel Comics, but there are definitely some older DC books that I could want to get. I mean, like anybody else, whether you're into DC or not, I mean, everybody who's a comic book fan should want to get, like, Detective Comics number 27. That's probably a must for everybody to seek after that one. So that's that. Thank you guys. Really awesome. But a Silver Age comic book from 1965. Yeah, Volume 1, Number 6, November 1965. Published by Charlton Comics. Now, this one I bought quite a while ago from Mile High Comics on eBay. They have graded it as good, and they also note, or well, I noted on here, a appearance by the Judo Master in the back. So first I'll show you the cover and why they might grade it as good. It's held very well together, but if you can see right here, lots of writing on the cover, and I got it for very cheap. This one, I first bought this years ago when I first started on eBay, and I wanted to buy some stuff, and some Judo Master stuff, but I wanted very low prices, just in case things didn't work out for me, and it was all new to me, and PayPal and all that stuff, so I bought very cheap and rough copies, and this was one of them. So, but it looks like somebody's name, Alyssa, is wrote there, and you have the part of the alphabet and some more names. Quite yellowed, and but it is complete. A little bit of folds, a little bit right there, one kind of down there, some color break, but it's actually held together very well, and the inside I think is pretty great. And some of these pages are really awesome. Some go a little bit off-white, some yellow. It's kind of neat there. Look at that, Sarge Steel's hand. Yeah, so fairly good on the inside, but a lot of yellowing, a lot of damage to the cover, but no rips per se or anything. So this is actually one I'd probably want to seek in a better grade eventually, and maybe some more of these comics. This comes about to show you this one, Gene Pauley's Peter, because one of your last videos you also showed some Charlton comics, so that's what brought about me showing you this Silver Age Charlton. And the Charlton character, Sarge Steel, is of course now in DC Comics, and I think there's still some ongoing stuff, sort of. And I think I have a trade paperback of Checkmate. I believe he made appearances in that one. But in this particular issue, he gets ordered by the government, orders from Washington, he says, to somewhat babysit or be the bodyguard of this King Abhim Falrif, and he has a very large yearly income, and his I think it's his cousin. Is after him. This King Abhim is coming to America on whatever business it is, I can't remember. And in the midst of that as well, he comes into contact with this B.B. Kane, who is I think a movie star. I think it is in this one, I think. And they get together and there's all this adventure. Now in this one, and Sarge Steel himself, he's kind of like a, well, it says on the cover, special agent, but you know, like a secret agent, private eye, detective kind of guy. And the story takes place, they don't actually tell you when, but it is definitely in the 60s because, of course, by the setting and the clothing, but also they show a couple of cars, and Sarge mentions a certain Mustang that he has and a certain Jaguar that he has, which was the XKE Jaguar. And the XKE in America first came out in 1961. So of course the story takes place between probably 61 and 65. That's how I figured it out. But it reads kind of interesting too. It reads, although it is a very colorful comic book, Sarge Steel's narrative reads kind of like an old noir series or comic book. The narrative, it just seems like that. So it's like this really cool mashup of noir, private eye, James Bond kind of stuff. So at first he was asked by a foreign person, I cannot remember here, but somehow, yeah, he was asked by one person to help be the bodyguard. He refused, but then he got orders by Washington to do the same, and he wasn't offered as much money, but the orders were from Washington, so he would do it. So he's through the airport, and he's just babysitting this kind of guy anyways. And some kind of cool, I think some James Bond / Indiana Jones kind of stuff going on here with car chases and bombs. Yeah, it kind of does have an Indiana Jones feel too, a little bit. Not with the whips and snakes or anything like that, but just the directing style, I guess, in a sense. So, of course, he's using his metal mitt that he got after, I believe it was after serving in a war or something, or serving for the government. He got a prosthetic steel hand. So it's kind of interesting. So that's one of that's his super thing. It's kind of neat. But they eventually get on a plane, and the bad guys are there, and he uses the movie star, and of course this Abhim guy is young and he loves all this American stuff and whatnot, and for the films and whatnot, and he actually recognized the actress that he's hanging out with now. But they dress up as some cool cats right here, and then they were able to get away. And this comic book is told in a 3 or 4 part story, so it kind of has chapters to it. That's also an interesting manner of producing a comic book. Nice fight scene there. And Sarge Steel seems pretty cool. He ends up getting a Mustang because the kids, while he was going to, actually right in this spot right here, so they get away, they go to I think it was the actress's house, or one of her homes, and some other stuff happens there, a bunch of fights and whatnot, and then all in all, after all the really cool 1960s action here, the two cats there, they take off, and they took off with his Jag, so he has to go chase after them, and with this Mustang he gets, and of course the bad guys, they got a plane, so they're two en route chasing this young couple now. And of course that would happen, and there's some really cool, really neat scenes that are happening here, I think. Just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Do some bang bang, shoot 'em up. And of course, all in all, you know, Sarge Steel saves the day. And what happens at the end, I'll tell you here, is that throughout this whole adventure, the actress and this Prince of Beam, or King of Beam, they kind of fell in love and had this little bit of a thing going on. So Sarge Steel here lets them go, you know, before the other you know, cops and whatnot got there. He let them go and let them do their thing and elope and have a wedding and all this kind of stuff, kind of thing. So he just says, go. See, because being here, he says, we want to get married, but it is much more complicated, and it takes perhaps years to arrange such a ceremony for a man who is a king. So that's your thing at the end there. Yeah. So, but really interesting, really good comics, I think, and some of the older Charlton are really cool. Another thing is back up here, and it is called What is Karate? And you have a appearance here by Judo Master, actually just a floating head, but he narrates, the character narrates this whole What is Karate? And story in order by Frank McLaughlin, the person who partly created and wrote the Judo Master comics. And Judo Master, I think, first appeared in late 1964, and then a 10 issues of his own title called Judo Master, and this was probably the second appearance, I think. This floating head was the actual second appearance of Judo Master. So he goes through that, because Judo Master in the comic books knows judo, karate, jiu-jitsu. So it's kind of really interesting. And these old comics where they did that, I think that was really cool, kind of showing these martial arts and actual strikes and things. That's really cool. So that's a really neat backup, I think. That's something cool from the 60s. Yeah. So, but yeah, this is a long video, but there you go. Sarge Steel, Special Agent, issue number 6. I think that would be really cool to get some of these old ones. And if you really like some of the Charlton characters that are in DC Comics now, there are a whole bunch, but I mean, some to name would be Blue Beetle, The Question, what is his name? Peacemaker, Captain Atom, all those guys. They first had to start, Nightshade, they all had to start back in Charlton Comics before they got into DC. So if you really want to see some of the true past and history of those characters, go back to Charlton Comics and check out some of this stuff. So I think it's really, really neat. So yeah, that's that. And probably next I'll show you some, in a future video, some Charlton Bullseye comics. I'll actually read some and maybe talk about some of them. And also, if I can find all the issues, a short mini-series called Law, Living Assault Weapons, which was a 6-part mini-series which brought all the Charlton characters back together for a story where they're all the heroes and the saviors of the day. So yeah, that's that, you guys. Okay, video's going on too long. Again, please leave comments for, of course, what you just saw, and more suggestions for my savings jug. Again, from any publisher, DC, Image, Charlton, Gold Key, any publisher, anytime, leave more comments, and I really appreciate it, you guys. So, yeah, that's that. See you guys later. Bye.